Desert Island Discs on 91.3 Capital FM.
91.3 Capital FM Desert Island Disc series on this wonderful Sunday evening. As always, sharing with you life's incredible stories from distinguished folks that have exhibited an aura of excellence in what they do. Tonight on the program, a very special guest, and I will tell you without a fear of contradiction that we're not discussing or having a conversation with ordinary folk, but a lady that has distinguished herself in her career as a military officer. She is, by the way, from my research, the second highest ranking military officer in the Uganda People's Defense Forces. But although she shares the same rank with another female, but not needless to mention, it doesn't take away the shine that she holds the position as the second highest ranking military officer. She also serves as a member of parliament in the 10th parliament representing the Uganda People's Defense Forces. There are only 10 representatives of this army, and she's one of those. Tonight, she speaks to us about her life story, but in her capacity as the Defense and Army spokesperson. Good evening, welcome to the program, Afande Byekwaso.
Good evening, Simon.
I can hardly make you out, and I'm sure my viewers too. So I will request that we've gone through the necessary standard operating procedures. We have already social distanced. May I request that for identification's sake, we take off our mighty mask.
Obliged.
Thank you very much. Nice to have you on the program, Flavia, and glad that you have agreed to share with us your life story.
Also, it's my pleasure that you've brought me to this program. Very important. I used to admire it. But here I am today in it. Thank you so much.
Take us away, tell us. But before you tell us your life story of Jemvude, as we say it in Uganda, being the first female spokesperson of the army, am I right?
Yes, I am the first female.
How does that feel on your shoulders? Okay, away from the weight of the pips of a brigadier.
It's something, of course, it's good and it makes me feel good and great, but it's responsibility. It brings with it duty. So as I celebrate myself, but sometimes my heart skips because I know that I'm carrying a very heavy load with a lot of expectations from the leadership that put me in this post, but more so from the entire public. I can't tell you how many phone calls I got, WhatsApp messages from across the entire country. People
and
saying,
beyond.
yes, and beyond. And people saying, you know, we met 20 years ago. You know, we were here. You don't remember me, but you don't know me, but I'm glad for you. So there are a lot of expectations. It came with a lot of excitement. People celebrated it all, but when that settles down, there is a fulfilling what they are happy about. I have to prove my worth, that I was worth this post.
We're speaking to you on a night, I think, before you make your first 100 days in the office. Have you made 100 days?
Not yet.
So tell us, in your view, when the 100 days are over, what would you want us to have held in our hands and attribute to Brigadier Byekwaso as the Army and Defense spokesperson?
Simon, that is something, it's a bit hard. But like rightly stating, 100 days is very important. And I've always also thought about it, and I've always told my workmates and the people I've found in office, saying that it's very important that if I've not done anything within these days, then perhaps my leadership will also start becoming somewhat skeptic. So what I've given myself and what I would want to have come out of this 100 days is to have a plan of action, to have a strategy, that will be able to stand a test of time, to have a strategy that I'm not saying there is nothing. I'm building on what I have found.
True.
Yes, and they have done a lot. But I think we can add on, and yes, what I want to do within this is to come up with a plan that we can all be proud at the end of it all, that I can be proud of and the leadership can be proud of.
I know the manners that are required when you're in military presence and establishment. I will not ask the details of the strategy. I don't want to divulge military strategy.
Not at this time. Not at this time. Yes.
Besides, I only came to find out about you, to know who you are beyond the uniform, to listen to your life story before you joined the forces, which is very recently in 2000, and here you are. So tell us about yourself. Where were you born? When were you born? To whom were you born? Who is Flavia? Yes,
Flavia. Well, from this uniform is just a simple village girl. Yes, like a simple village girl. I lived my life, my childhood in different places of this country, and I'll tell you why. But I basically come from Gomba. That's where my ancestral home is.
Which was in the bigger PG district. Now it's Gomba district.
Yeah, it used to be one of the counties, but now it's Gomba district. Yes, thanks to the policy of government.
Bring services
closer to the people. Now finally Gomba becomes a district. Yes. I was born to Mr. Byekwaso and Nakai Justin, my mother. They both passed away.
Oh dear. Just over there, you know, for a moment I thought Byekwaso was a name you picked up later.
No.
So this is
my father. Yes. Different people usually ask me why Byekwaso, and so many tribes have that name. Yes. So. But we were told that the siblings, my father followed, I think 3 of them passed on. So when he finally lived, when he came on earth and lived, they gave him this name.
The name Byekwaso.
So I don't know, he was so proud of it that when I was sitting for P7, he said he took away the name I had, and I will not mention, for my own reasons, and gave me this one.
For security reasons?
For security reasons, actually. Yeah, for those ones who usually use people's names to do bad things. So he gave me, and this one, the name that has stuck up to now.
Incredible.
Yes. So
take us back into that homestead of the Byekwasos. One, are you the only child that is called Byekwaso of your father?
No,
or the rest
all of us. All of us.
So how many were you? Were you a middle child? Are you the firstborn? Are you the only girl?
Yes, no. We are 3 girls, and from my mother and 1 boy. Actually, we're 5. 1 died.
Oh dear.
And 3 girls from the same mom, and 1 boy from another mom. Yes. Our parents separated at an early age, I think so.
Oh dear.
I don't know why, but I think they wouldn't stay together for their reasons. So for that reason, part of my childhood or babyhood, I said it with my grandmother.
Oh, in Gomba?
Yes, in Gomba, Elizabeth Nabasa, and I love her so very much. Nabasa.
Is she still alive?
No, she died.
Oh dear.
I love her so much because when I look back and I look at who she was, I think, I'm compelled to think that we are what we are today because of that one woman. One woman, because when I compare her with the grandfather, I can see that she was stronger in terms of values, in terms of education, and I want to think that she's one who really looked to made it possible for my father to go to school. Yes, because my grandfather, they are of course pure peasants. And my grandfather was not so much into things of educating us the grandchildren. He didn't produce so many children. Like I said, some of them died, so he had only 2 surviving, 1 boy and 1 girl.
But he was just not up to educating
I
you.
think so. Because when we were growing up, I would say it was the grandmother who would make sure you're in school, the uniform, that kind of thing.
And talking about schools, which schools did you attend?
So during primary, I said because we moved a lot in different schools, and the reason is my father was a headmaster, so he used to move between different schools. He was... he died at an early age. I think he died he was 46 years to be precise. And that was, I think that is around 20 years ago. So he was a headmaster. But before that, I remember I said when they separated, we were in Kawanda, but I think when they separated with the mother, we were taken out to the grandmother. Mm-hmm. And I started my nursery for that matter. And if it's, I don't know whether it was a nursery or a church school or something, but I remember somewhere in Mani, Busuju, the present Busuju, present Mitiana district. That's where my grandmother was. And also she had also for some time, they call it divorce or something. No, she was not divorced, but separated.
She separated from your grandfather.
Yes, and she, because she was a strong woman, so she went, bought her own things, bought her own land, built her own house. So of course we had to move on with her. And that is where I remember us doing a nursery, but over church, over what? But you were there in something resembling a nursery school. But of course, it was for a short while, and then our father picked us. Okay. And when he picked us, he was in Nache Sanja Primary School here in Kawanda Research Center. I think it's there. That's where we were. And then we moved from there. I think we were there maybe up to P3. And then we moved to Nausanke Primary School. This is now in Mawokota.
In Mawokota, yes.
And then we moved there. I don't know what happened. And then we were taken again back to Gomba. I think for a year or so. And then finally he was taken to Chitala, primary, this here in Entebbe.
Entebbe,
yes. And then he was taken to Chibibi, and in Chibibi Primary School, then he came for us again. And then he went to Chitegomba. So that is how we moved, because following him. Oh, wow. And then for all that time he didn't marry. He only married when we were in P7. I think in P7, that's the first time I saw him with bringing a mchala at home. Yes, when we're now, I think he thought this was good enough for us now to be put with another woman.
One you say that your father was very considerate of
I think so.
Especially that you were mainly girls.
Yes, we were mainly girls. And yes, he was a soft-spoken man and very intelligent. They told me that where he was, at that primary school where he was, he's the only one during his years who brought grade A. So he was a very intelligent man. That's why no wonder at a very early age of around maybe in his 20s, he was already a headmaster.
Now we understand why the apple surely does not fall from a mango tree. But for someone that joined the forces in 2000, today you are a general and holding such a huge position. Brigadier Byekwaso on the program.
Simon, briefly, let me make a correction. Yes. I didn't join in 2000. I joined in 95.
Oh, 95.
Yes, 95. That intake, there's a recruitment that happened in November 95, but we trained finally in 97. Yes.
Oh, that's an interesting one. So we need to correct
your
biographical page on the internet.
Yes.
So that it
they put 2000.
Yes. On the program, we play our music.
Yes.
So tonight you're going to play your music.
Yes.
Let's see what kind of music you'll have to listen to. What would be your first song?
My first song would be gospel music, and that is Wanonda Donda.
This is strong Catholic hymn.
Yes.
I normally hear in cathedrals.
Yes. The reason, if I may say the reason why I say Wanonda Donda, if I look back, if I retrace my steps, I'm seeing this person whom God chose so many years ago without me knowing him. But if I've seen things happening to me where I came from, who we were, like I think from peasantry kind of life, though we were peasants who at least were good fed, and that kind we had a lot of food and milk, yes, that kind of thing. But I can see God's hand in my life. Up to where I am, how I went through the schools, and that, yes, I see God. That's why I always say, but God, I know there is a day you chose me. Though I cannot tell that day, but I know he chose me. That's why my first song would be Wanonda Donda.
Quite a very inspirational song, and for your life story which you're sharing with us, I'm sure there will be hundreds, perhaps even thousands, or even tens of thousands of people that will be inspired by your life story.
I hope so.
Let's listen to the song. We'll be right back. It's Desert Island Discs.
Desert Island Discs on 91.3 Capital FM.
91.3 Capital FM, Desert Island Discs, and yes, the story of the Defense and Army spokesperson, Brigadier General Flavia Byekwaso, being shared with us by herself in her own voice, word, and face. So, Flavia, you've gone through your life's journey, quite many turns and twists, but one thing is constant. You've not left school, you're studying, and you're being showed some good care by your father. And primary school ends. So where did life take you after that?
Yes, the primary school ends. And my first, I remember my first choice, or my father's first choice.
That time it was his choice for you.
Yes, it was his choice for me, was Namagunga Secondary School. I was with my sister, we were two, we all sat the P7 together. Okay. For her, her first choice, my father's choice for her was Gayaza Secondary School. So you can see that's what that means. He wanted the best scores
for us
that time. He was a poor man though, but that's what he wanted for us. And I remember one time he was saying, you're not beautiful girl, so you have to study. That's what he that you have to study. You're not beautiful girl, so you have to study. So, but I didn't make it. My sister made it to Gayaza.
Wow.
I didn't make it to Namagunga because I got 8, and I think they were taking less than below 8. So
5, 4.
Yeah, I think it was 5. So I didn't make it. He tried. He wanted now to. His second choice was Makerere College School, but I think there's no hostel, something like that.
I
think they didn't have. It was not there quite. Yes. And he said, no, I can't. So the third choice took me to Kako Secondary School.
Right there in Masaka.
Right there in Masaka.
Near Nabusan.
Yes. So, but you can see that from where we were, that time we were in Chiwi to Masaka was quite a distance.
Oh, yes.
And I don't know, for one reason or the other, I never liked the school at all.
Wait,
I never liked
your choice. It was your father's
maybe
choice.
Because it was not my choice. But not so much because I had choices, but because it was far. And I think I didn't have people to visit me that much.
Namagunga was father, so was Makerere College.
These men usually move to Kampala a lot. So yeah, that one would be, maybe he would be able to check on me and those relatives around. But in Masaka, it was no one comes. You would come there, so you would end the term without being visited.
Oh dear.
And of course, it used, that kind of thing. You get hurt. Sometimes the pocket money is little, of course, because your father has not much money, so you get very little. So, and like I'm saying, I didn't like the school at all. So what I did before the end, I think of third term, I got sick and I went back home. And when I reached home, I said, I'm not going back. I refused. Yes, I said, Dad, I'm not going back to that school. Like I said, he was not that tough, so I took a decision, and he of course, I think he got annoyed, but he left me, and then put me in another school. It was Chibibi Second. There was a school in the vicinity nearby.
In the vicinity, yes.
So he put me there. But I think he was not content. So I had an uncle in Nazigo, Bugerere. He was a headmaster there in the primary section, yes, there. So he took me there in senior 2.
Is that a school called St. Kalemba?
St. Kalemba. In senior 2. And that's where I did that one I didn't have any problem with it because I had the school near and my uncle was near here, so we would just cross. When we were going into the gardens of the school, we would just pass by home here, get something, and of course feel proud that children of the relatives is just near the big man around, and we were many there, his children and us and me. So that one I didn't have any issues with it.
So you linked up with your cousins,
yes,
so you had a big community.
In a big community. So that's where I did my O-level finally and A-level.
In St. Kalemba, what did you do in there? Played some games, or you were strictly reading?
I didn't play games, But
Good games. I mean, did you join clubs like even being a girl guide, to start the journey of being a soldier?
No. I don't remember, but I was very active. I was a very active fan of games. And
I like that active fan. Not
but active fan of games. I had wanted to do some running, but of course I couldn't. And I also enjoyed so much volleyball, but I also failed in that one. But I was, because we used to do it on a house basis, I think I was a very strong and very active house member. Anyway, I was the house captain anyway, so yes, I was very active. Leadership. So yes, I did not play, but I can say I was very active in supporting and making sure things happen. Yes.
Wow, that's tremendous.
That is in O level.
Did you ever think while you were in St. Kalemba that one day, today, you'd be dressed like this?
No. I had never, because, and in my entire life, I had never lived anywhere near a soldier. I had never lived anywhere near a barracks. So these things of soldiering, I've never, I had never heard anyway. What
did you think of soldiers when you were, for example, growing up?
I don't even think I used to. Never even crossed your mind? I don't think so. That would be a lie. Only during, I think, when we were growing up and as children, the Saba things.
The war,
I think the Tanzanian war, because that time I was born, we were young, and I remember we used to hear things flying, and they were called Sabas. And maybe sometimes they would say, I think during Obote also, they would say, Abasirikale bajja, so you would all, of course, run away. So we used to associate terror. So identify soldiers with terror, because it would be told, our grandfather would sit on the doorway with his pang and say, for you, go away, go and hide, and come back at night. So that's what we knew about soldiers, but not that I had ever seen them, not that I had ever been anywhere near them, but it didn't make a lot of sense. Even when we used to hear that maybe they terrorized, we didn't make a lot of sense out of them, no. It's like the way we hear these days the youth saying, Temutubulira. We don't want to know.
We don't want to know.
Yes. Even when they hear that in the north, Kony was cutting off people's lips, cooking them live, they say we don't want to hear. So I think it's the same. So you can imagine maybe someone 3 or 4 years, you don't make a lot of sense out of it. You only hear soldiers, so what?
So then, what were you studying to become? Remember, your father had told you are not a very beautiful girl. You have to study. Now, what were you studying to become?
When I was, I thought I wanted to be a lawyer. Yes, I thought I wanted to be a lawyer.
Now you're a lawmaker.
I loved so much becoming a teacher.
You love being a teacher?
Teacher, because my father, though, was a headmaster, but he was not a rich person. I used to say teaching, I think teachers are poor people. If my father is this, it's not that you wouldn't identify him with being someone who is rich. Yes. So one of the reasons, my resolutions were, I'll never be a teacher. And actually that used to drive me a lot in my reading. That we were, of course, poor, with sometimes being living off on other people's things, clothing, soap, sugar, those kind of things. But then I knew I had to study. At least that one I knew I had to study. One, not to be a teacher, because teachers are poor. And I thought I needed something better. What I had in mind, I wanted to be a lawyer. That one is for sure.
What had inspired you into law? Had you seen a prominent lawyer somewhere?
Not really.
Or you just hear that
lawyers maybe I just maybe had, or maybe it is something that was in me that I wanted to be a lawyer. Unfortunately, maybe the brain, or I don't want to say the school. I don't want to say the school, but I thought I did what I could, but I couldn't get the marks.
Still from St. Kalemba?
Yes.
That's your A-level?
Yes.
Wow.
But we performed that time, those were upcoming schools. They were there, but in terms of performance, they were not that good. And actually, even that year, we were a class of 6, I think, but we were only 7 of us who made it to the university. Was on government sponsorship. We were 2 girls and 5 boys. So
And
you can
you
see
are
we
one of
tried.
those.
Yes.
You're an
We tried.
lady. You
We
did
tried.
try. You did very
But
well.
I didn't make it. I didn't reach where I wanted, but at least I made it to Makerere.
And you saved your father the
Yes.
trouble of paying your school fees.
Yes.
Right over there, let's play our next song.
My next song would be, it's a revolutionary song, one of his revolutionary songs. Unfortunately, I can't
You don't know the title of the track.
remember the title. So, okay, but any Bob Marley song anyway, with this one, because I don't know the title, but I would.
But what are some of the words in there? Maybe I could just pick it up from the words you mentioned. What catches your...
What catches me was the message that at one point the cat, no, the mice would eat from, actually we also have that saying, yes.
At one time the mice will eat the cat.
Yes, will eat the skin of the cat. And I think it was to do with colonialism, that at one time the Africans would be able to determine their own affairs, they would be able to chase away these whites. Yes, I think so. That is the message.
A young Flavia that just wanted to be a lawyer and be rich, at what point does the spirit of patriotism hit you to such an extent that one of your favorite songs is a revolutionary song like this of Bob Marley?
This was, I think, during my days when I was at the university, I think, and also reading through that colonial history and what these guys used to do, yes, to Africans. When you read slave trade and what used to happen to Africans and that the treatment we got, you realize that it aroused some feeling in me. That's what attracted me to the songs of Bob Marley. So
Let me look through my music jukebox, find that particular song if I can. If I can't, I'll pick you something from Bob Marley.
Something from
that's
Bob
revolutionary.
Marley. Yes.
That will just, bring back the spirit of the revolutionary. We'll be right back. It's Desert Island Discs.
Desert Island Discs on 91.3 Capital FM.
These songs of freedom is all I ever had. Redemption song. Redemption song.
It's Desert Island Discs, fresh, bigger, and better now on YouTube as well as on 91.3 Capital FM. Tonight on the program, we have the Defense and Army Spokesperson, Brigadier General Flavia Byekwaso, sharing with us her life story. We may all know her from the smart, meticulous officer that she is, adorned in her uniform, complete with her pips. But behind that is an ordinary girl next door who has worked her way to where she is. Currently a lawmaker, but also a spokesperson. So, you go to the university. Finally, you have freedom. Finally, you have an open check, at least from your father now, because he's not paying school fees. So possibly you expect him to give you some more money. And then you have also reached an age where certain things are happening to you for the first time, and yet you have freedom and perhaps not very aware of the responsibility to that freedom. Take us through your life at university.
Life at the university, of course, it comes with some bit of excitement. That get different from what the situation is today. That time, it was very prestigious for someone to join Makerere University. We were few, first of all, to be able to be chosen among 2,000. I think that time it was still 2,000. So to be able to be among the 2,000 was obviously by every standard.
Epic.
Yes. It's not this today when everyone can, whether you have if you have your money, you can. So we go there. And I was put in box. Yes, I was a very strong boxer and long box solidarity.
Hey,
I was one of those very stubborn ones when it came to long box. Yes.
You supported Gongoma and
Gongomes. And even those during when were North Coast and Lumumba, they were very not
Arch
very good
rivals.
friends, arch rivals, and I would be among those ones that would go for war. Yes.
You actually wore this uniform a long time ago.
No. But that's how far I enjoyed that. Yes, that's how far I enjoyed that Lumbok's spirit. At university, the course I was given, of course, because of my marks, I was given Bachelor of Arts with Political Science and Public Administration. Flat course, of course. So I was a non-resident, and I got we got one of the houses around where I was sleeping for first year. They used to give us money. Of course, the other things they would pay, everything they would pay, they would also give us an allowance to rent.
Survival, not?
Yes, yeah. And feeding, they were feeding us. So I didn't, luckily, I didn't fall so much into the life of university students, the excitement. I'm on record, that is the time I think when Angeno was starting.
Wow.
Ange. But I never stepped there.
You never stepped in Angeno?
I never stepped in Angeno.
Why at Makere?
Why at Makere?
Have you ever gone in your life to check out what Angeno looks like now?
I think I've never also. Hey. Yes. Okay. I had stopped going for maybe if I can go a little bit behind. In senior, when I was in senior, I think too, I used to like disco. So in one holiday with a cousin, we went after like we went out of the house without our father knowing. But what changed me, our father got to know that we had gone for that disco. So when he woke up in the morning, he called us. And particularly me, he said, okay, tell me. He went to the disco. I said, yes, Dad. Tietata, who paid for you to enter into that disco? I said, we left home. You know, I think they would reach a time when they would make it open now. Maybe they'll collect money up to perhaps maybe 11 o'clock or midnight. Then afterwards it's open. So I said, no, we went when it was open. But we didn't take long, we came back. He said, oh, so that time I thought when he called me, I thought, now I'm finished. But you know, this guy just didn't do anything. After asking, who gave you the money? And I said that we went when it was already open. He stopped there, he didn't say anything. And from that moment I said I will never do it again. What
made you get the fear of not doing it again? Because
it's
you
the
picked a subtle message.
I picked a message because I knew how he was either going to beat me or shout at me or, you know, do all these things. Because it's not very usual that you get a girl of maybe 14 years going into a disco. And you catch them and then you don't reprimand them. Yes. And then he just asks a question. So that silence spoke a lot of volumes and volumes, and that changed me. I like you way your dad conducted his business. So I don't think you remember him ever spanking you or administering corporal punishment on you. When we were growing, he would just slap. He would, he would very generous with his slaps when you're near him. But he never did it commercially, where he puts you down and gives you proper chiboko and you can't so forget. Much. Okay, he would maybe chiboko, he would not exceed 3. I mean, he would not exceed 3. He would, if he is like steady, just massaging you. So at that time, I said, and that followed me up to even the university. I changed my mind. I never went for disco again. Even when they would come at school, I would not get into disco hall. So how were you able to administer some entertainment on yourself, other than going to war with the Lumumba boys to attack North Court and other places? I didn't. I would just. I was not in things of that nature, you know, let me say like that. I was just there. I like sleeping a lot. Yeah, I like sleeping. So if I'm not reading, I would be, you know, doing my things, sleeping. And I'm not one person who visits a lot, so I enjoy sleep so much. But of course, let's not forget you're a young girl growing up, and there are people who like visiting such people at university. Benching.
So now, really.
Yes, there's one. There are those benchers. Okay, maybe some bit I've not said is by the time I used when I was joining the university, there's now someone who was what you know, something like that. So and so I think my thoughts were with that person. I not that we had an affair, but that's where these other things I did not like. I didn't think about it, and the benchers I didn't like. But I would generally say I was not into. Yes, let me just cut it like that. And I'm genuinely so. The person who tried to bench me was called Kagera Thomas. Kagera Thomas, I don't know where, and he used to come from Gombe also. But he used to work on CBS radio. He looked serious. There's also another, and I don't want to mention because he may hear. So there's those ones who are serious, but I was not interested. So
this Kagera Thomas, when he come looking for you through my program. I don't know what I'll tell him. I'll just give him the address of the
Kagera Thomas. I think he's in Rwanda now. I don't know. I don't know. He spoiled himself, but he was with CBS for some time. Right now, I was told he's in Rwanda. So. Wow. But the other one, finally, the other one is done with who won finally.
Oh, the other one?
This one who was just there.
From way back? He doesn't have a name.
I don't want to mention.
For security reasons.
Such as Uncle, yes.
So he won.
Yeah.
Have you been blessed with a family, children?
Yes, I have one boy. Oh. The other one's passed on 3.
Oh dear.
And Simon, I have now one surviving. Simon Peter Kutwala. Yes, Simon Peter is first year at the university.
Wow.
Yeah. Doing Bachelor of Commerce.
Hi Simon, I think he's watching the program now. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Now let's go back to the university where Simon is now at the moment. So you go through it, you test your books, and you complete.
And I completed, yes.
Jobs where?
Now when I completed, that is when now this advert came out.
To go to the
that they are calling cadet officers, as usually the way they run the advert. So when I read it, not even reading, I saw on the TV.
Right there. Play your next song. When we come back from the song, tell us how you see an advert and convince yourself that of all available jobs you could have done, you choose to go to the army. Oh, a daughter of a headmaster, well-groomed girl, having studied in Nazigo, and you're going to the army. What will be your next song?
Okay. Now my next song would be from Kofi Olomide. Just pick me anything good from Kofi Olomide.
Why? Does it remind you of that disco you went to where your father...
It just reminds me. I think that time... It just reminds me. I think that is when we're starting with this person over. Those years, those years, and that Kofi Olomide, I think, was the one who will see now the music from Zaire.
Yes.
That time.
Now Democratic Republic.
Those mid 90s there.
So I'll get for you Lua.
Okay.
It's a beautiful song. Kofi Olomide. Those watching us now are surely going to get off their seats and dance with us.
Okay.
We'll be right back. Let's groove away with Lua sounds of Kofi Olomide, as chosen by the Army and Defense spokesperson, but also a member of parliament representing the UPDF, Brigadier General Flavia Byekwaso. If you don't dance to this song, I don't know what you'll ever dance to. It's a beautiful one. We'll be right back.
Desert Island Discs on 91.3 Capital FM.
Chivundu.
91.3 Capital FM, Desert Island Discs. Brigadier General Flavia Byekwaso, Army and Defense spokesperson, but also member of parliament representing the army in the 10th Parliament of Uganda, sharing with us a life story. So, Madam, you're a university student, you have completed your course, you are now looking for a job. What did you want to work in? You earlier on told us that you were doing a flat course, whatever that meant. It was not engineering, it was not medicine. So
it was Rally 311. We call it Rally 311.
Like that.
So, yes, Rally 311. Now you've done Rally 311, like you're saying. So you're open to go into anything. You can commit anything.
Chija.
I will go here, I'll go there, I'll go there. Of course, I tried. I remember there's one I tried to go. It was an insurance company.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was. I don't know whether I just walked there or they advertised, but I went there into an insurance company, and they asked me. Someone asked me, "What makes you think you can work here?" Yes, and I said that I think, and I remember that time saying that I think being a woman, I can be able to move, to look for business. And because insurance, I thought it was about, business and saving and looking. Yes, I said I can, because of this, I can be able to do this. So I said, okay, we shall see. But along this thing, when this came, it was on TV and I saw it. And now I asked myself, what is cadet? What is the meaning of cadet? Mm-hmm. So I get up in the morning, go to Kololo. The recruitment center for Central was Kololo Airstrip. And then I went there. Of course, what I found there, very many girls and boys. You told them, and then the first thing they told me is to run. I had come in a high-heeled shoe. And I said, are these people mad? What are these people up to? Running. The training is meant to really, when you look at it, the training is meant to take away all those things, to annul you. I think I would use that word, annul you into what they want you to be. Not for the bad reasons, but for the good reason. Because you must be changed completely.
And be an officer.
Yes, and be an officer.
Before you play your next song, let me get something clear from you. You are not just an ordinary person, you are a woman. What was your experience as a woman going through cadet training? Do you think you were treated, can I say fairly, or were you treated preferentially? Do you think girls watching you on the program now should dare join the army and be sure that they will come out alive and after some time come with red collars and tell their story?
There's no, I wouldn't say there's preferential treatment, but I would say that sometimes still there are certain things someone would be able to close an eye and leave us, manage this. For example, when you're training and you reach into things of obstacle crossing, they're very hard obstacles. Of course, some girls would do it because everyone else has to do it. But if you've not managed to do it, it will not be a very big deal than it would be for a man. These first days, you are
the one who told us earlier you like to sleep.
But now you're in a situation where you're going to take 6 weeks without sleeping. 6 weeks, yes, without sleeping, but you're working. You're drilling, they are drilling you, you're studying in class, you're clearing bushes, you're doing all sorts of things. They only allow you maybe, they can give you an hour or two to take a bath and they know in these 2 hours. Yes. So, but going back to the first day, the first week, after the first day, I cried a lot. I cried a lot. Because everything was new and hard. So I used to cry a lot. That first day I cried a lot, the second day. But of course you have your friends around you saying, no, you don't worry, everything is going to be okay. Someone comes and takes away a slash and says, okay, let me slash for you.
This will be...
Yes. When the instructor is not seeing, of course, when the instructor is not seeing, they say, okay, let's do your part. So for that day I went and slept. I started planning. I said, this one I can't manage, I'm going to run away.
You say planning to escape?
Yes, I started to, yes. I got a koplo. I gave him my 2,000 shillings. That time it was, I think, March. He said, I'm giving you my 2,000 shillings. I want to run away. Make sure you get my clothes. I came in as something like this, but you get me something to wear me, and then you're going to help me, show me a route. When we go for morning run, and you show me where I can go through. Yes, I wanted to run away. Oh, that is day 3. But then I think this man, no, I think I first gave him a letter and said, I want to make sure you take this letter for my people to know where I am. Because there are some people in Ginger. I had known we are in Ginger, and I knew we had a relative in Ginger. Yes. And of course, as I was planning my escape, so when the others got that letter, they hurried. And of course, for them, they didn't also know. So they brought me huge suitcase full of things.
The quarter
got very nice things. What? No, they came inside. When I was there, I think it was on the 5th day of the training. They called me. They said, Flavia, they are calling at the administration block. I went and found the vehicle there. I said, of course I felt so happy, what. And then I was trying, I told them, now you're going to get me where, and I told them my plan. They brought me so many things. And I said, these things take back home because I'm coming. But now, when I opened, of course they brought me on some good one and, nice stuff. When I opened that parcel and I saw there was a letter inside. In that letter, there's of course a long letter, oh, we're happy we've known where you are, that kind of thing. You chose this, and some of them were like, you chose this.
This was from your parents?
Yes. No, from my husband, yeah. But he said that, you Flavia, I know you always determined to achieve. There's something like you always, when you determine to achieve something, you get it. So I wish you well. And for him, little did he know, I was not so aware, but look at him now telling me that if I determined to do something, I do it and complete it.
And he wished you well.
And wished me well. I said,
that broke your spirit.
That broke my spirit. And indeed it did, because I said, okay, so this is how this person knows me.
Let me also prove
Let me also prove.
Because if I escape,
I'll disappoint him, and I'll have disappointed myself and betrayed what he thought I was. So you're this person who are like, okay, if Simon thinks I'm this, then I'm going to make sure I
prove
do
myself. Have you ever touched a gun in your life, Flavia?
That time?
No, before
Of course not.
So the first day they brought Sira a gun right in front of
No, the first day, we start with these sticks, these sticks. Yes. So after the 6 weeks, that's when now they give us the gun.
So were you looking forward to the day you actually touch a real gun, or you were a bit scared?
I don't think I was very enthusiastic. Yes, I don't think so. I would lie. Yeah.
And this gun looks small, but I'm told it's very heavy.
It is around, yes.
So when the first day you hold it, what went through you?
Of course, when you're holding it, it's heavy, but you have to carry it all the time. And when you're with the gun, you treat it as a baby. The gun, you all the time here, you don't put it down. And there is a way when you're walking, there is a way you have to carry it. Not this way of walking with it as a stick. So all those things, of course, would be just, but you get used to it and say, okay, now this is how I have to do it. It is heavy. I have to iPod. It is uncomfortable, but I have to do it like this.
One day the commissioning comes, and now you are going to have the big ceremony. How was it? It's
a very good feeling after the military training, and now for the first time now I'm going to go back into the other kind of life where I don't have to wake up very early in the morning. I have not to do morning run all the time, evening run when it's very hot. I am not going to carry all these guns around all the time anymore. I'm not going to have corporals, beating you, all provoking all the time. All those things, of course, you don't do things your way. You're doing things their way. So that day when you're going to commission and you're all very smart. And you've tried out the ceremony. You're in those kawundas. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. I can tell it's a beautiful day. His Excellency is coming. Have you ever seen him before that? Like up close? The President, the Commander-in-Chief? I think no. On the day of your commission is when you see him. How close were you to where he was? You as an individual.
Because I know there are always
yes,
lines.
yeah.
You as Flavia.
It was in about maybe, we usually put maybe like 30 meters.
So when you saw him, something goes through your mind.
Yes,
This is my commander.
Yeah, our commander-in-chief. And you're of course proud when you're doing parade in front of him. You know, that pride comes back, you feel good. Your people are there to watch.
You had invited
very
them.
Nice drills, the way you turn, the way you walk, you know, the way military,
of course.
Yes, those, you're swinging, you're all happy. The drills, the footwork.
All the
you have forgotten everything.
Let me get a bit naughty here. Did he ever come to pay you a visit while you were in training?
No.
He would never have recognized you or even possibly married you again. He would have just left you. Because I'm sure he could not make out what you look like. What will be your next song, Flavia?
But my next song is Mama by Judith Babidi. And this one not because, I would say not because I love so much my mother, but I feel nice being a mother. When I hear it, I feel good to be, I feel proud to be a mother.
Has Simon played that song for you, your son?
No, he hasn't.
But one day I'm sure when he sits there, because one day he will come and
I pray that it happens.
He will play it for you.
Yes.
But I'm also sure that you remember your grandmother.
Yes, my grandmother,
so
yes.
That also goes out.
Always, actually.
See, I keep my receipts.
Yes, actually.
It's the Style and Discs. You'll agree with me that the story of Flavia joining the army and her training and how she just disappeared in thin air, then shows up without hair on her head and all that she went through is quite a maneuver of epic proportions. Let's take this break. When we return, it's more about our life story.
Desert Island Discs on 91.3 Capital FM.
Desert Island Discs, welcome back. It's the story of Brigadier General Flavia Byekwaso, shared on the program by herself. It's quite a bit of a story. If you've missed this, just go back on our YouTube channel and replay. But if you are just joining us, you haven't missed. You have missed in capital letters and in bold letters. Brigadier Byekwaso.
Yes.
You now pass out as a second lieutenant. Cadet officer. Finally, you get to know the meaning of the word cadet.
I got to know.
So tell us, how did the journey begin? Where were you first deployed? How did the soldiering start?
So, when we passed out on that day, it was, and I remember it was 22nd. It was 22nd September 1997. We were given a month to go home.
Oh.
And then we went back to no, we were not given. We were deployed and immediately, and my first deployment was in PP Presidential Protection Unit that time.
Which is the current SFC.
The current SFC, yes. And that was in 97, 98 to 2000. In 98, I think I was taken, we had a detach. SFC PPU then had a detach in Namagunga Secondary School.
Oh.
That was, I think it was Diana.
Yes.
The other girls had left, but Diana was there. Kamwine. Kamuntu, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, Diana Kamuntu was there. So I went there, the detached commander. They were in the charge, the security of the premises.
You see how life moves you in circles?
Yes.
Your father wanted you to go to Mount St. Mary's College in Namagunga. You didn't make it.
I didn't make it.
You go through the army, and fate brings you back to Namagunga
in a different...
Protect a student
of
high security interests.
Yes.
See?
Yeah.
You went to Namagunga.
I went there, yes. So I was there briefly, and when Diana left, I think before she even left, I think I didn't finish there. The year I didn't complete. I was made ADC of the Vice President that time, Dr. Wandira Kazibwe.
Whoa.
Yes. So I was with her from part of 98, 99. I was there for a short time. That was 98, part of 98, 99. And the reason why I left her is in 99, I got pregnant.
Oh dear.
By the way, it was, of course, it was a blessing. I got a child, but for the institution, and my commander then, it didn't go down well with him, and he thought that I would not be able. I was in that position. I was not fit to be in that position.
Protect the vice president.
To protect the vice president, and he also finally thought that I was not now good enough to even be in the unit.
In the presidential
protection unit. Presidential protection unit. So I don't know, he transferred me. I don't know whether it was out of good reasons
or as punishment.
I wouldn't want to say because I didn't know what was in his heart. But what I know, he transferred me, and then the admin officer
transferred you to where?
To Bombo. Bombo is general headquarters. Chief of Personnel and Administration, because it is our home anyway. CPA is our home. Wherever you go, you first go back to the CPA because it's a
RTU, return to unit.
So the only thing I can remember that time is the vice president tried to resist, to say why do you transfer her?
Because she's
pregnant. Because this is not permanent. I think as a woman activist, she didn't find she didn't find it good and well and fair. So she tried and said, I still want her. And also the admin then, who is now Brigadier D. Kolum, he's a DA in one of these countries around. He tried to tell the commander that this is not necessary to transfer Flavia. If she's pregnant, she'll give her birth. And after I left work when I was stopped working, when I was almost, I think, 8 months pregnant. I worked up to that time because, the first pregnancies, they don't grow so years. So, but he insisted that I get transferred. And I transferred after actually even giving birth because I had my baby while I was still in Entebbe. He insisted in 2000. I produced in November 99, so that's how old my son is, November 99. And I was transferred, I think, in February 2000. So he insisted that I go away. And I remember, I'm this person who cancels myself very fast. I said, but when I was joining these forces, when I joined, I didn't know I would work with PPU. So there's no big deal. I can go and work anywhere. So I just moved on. The good thing that I used that time also to improve myself. When I was maternity leave, I started. Of course, I was deployed to other offices, but I used that time also to go back to school.
Oh, because they were less rigorous, they were less busy.
Yes, less busy. There's a lot of time. I said, let me go back and do my master's.
Oh, you did?
Yes, I did my master's.
That was a master's in what?
Public administration and management.
See, born administrator.
Yeah.
Flavia, is there something that gets you angry? If there is, what is it?
By nature, I rarely get angry. Really. And now that I'm maturing, I'm even doing it deliberately to make sure that I don't get annoyed. Maybe where I can say that what really sometimes pisses me off is, for example, and they're home related, going home and I find that I like being clean.
I can see from your shoe, I'm seeing my reflection on your shoe.
This one is
spotless.
I like being clean and when you enter your house and it's clean and things are in order. And when I'm in my compound, I want green to remain green. So I don't want things dotted in the compound.
If I were to host you at my house and cook your favorite dish, what should be on the table?
Now, I used to like a lot. I used to enjoy rice a lot. Rice.
Until you beat a stone.
No, until I became diabetic. And they say diabetes, rice.
Reduce on the sugar.
So now whatever I eat is, I don't have anything. I say now this is because of my condition. But ordinarily, I would love rice, which is not white rice, with a little oil and some carrots in it to change color and flavor, and then serve it with either chicken or fish.
Wow. And how do you wash it down?
Water.
Water?
Water or juice.
Okay. Do you, like me, I take a bit of beer and quite an amount of whiskey?
No.
You don't.
That's a no-go for me.
Never tried?
That's a no-go. And sometimes and I used to hear my son saying, "Abachala tebanywa mwenge mama." So one time he saw my sister and said, "Nae mama, abachala tebanywa mwenge. Nga nae mama Sylvia anywa mwenge, mula wanga anywa mwenge." But I don't drink.
Honorable Brigadier Flavia Byekwaso, it's been a pleasure having you on the program.
Pleasure too.
There's only one question that everyone who sits right there doesn't miss to answer. Now it's your turn. This is a very beautiful country, Uganda. Gladly you're protecting it and ensuring that its territorial integrity is not hampered by any external forces that come destabilize us. If you were to be marooned somewhere in Uganda, to have your moment to relax indeed, where would you choose and why?
My Gomba.
Gomba?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. my home. Yes, my home. I love my home. I love my village.
What
If
do you
there
love
is,
about it?
yes, just knowing that I'm at home, that makes my home.
Wow. Again, I will say it's been a pleasure having you on the program. For a busy person like you are and the schedules that you're running, we can't thank you more for taking time to share with us your life story.
Thank you too for according me this opportunity.
But also for the viewers and listeners, we don't take their presence for granted. They could have been listening to anything or watching anything, but they have stuck with us, and we thank them from wherever it is that they are listening to us. We have those viewing us from out of the country. That exactly is what Uganda has to offer. Fine people, distinguished, incredible, and doing marvelous stuff. The program brings you ordinary folk, but who are doing extraordinary stuff. And Honorable Brigadier Flavia Byekwaso is just one of those. We'll meet same time, same place next Sunday with yet another conversation of a life story that's incredible. But before we leave, it has to be that one song you're going to play to say kwaheri to the listeners.
Okay, kwaheri to the listeners, and this is what I wish everybody to live in the goodness of God. Yes, and that is the song, I'll live in the goodness of God.
I'll live in the goodness of God. Let's enjoy it as we close our program on a Sunday evening.
So if they have it, it's by Jeff someone.
By Jeff someone. Yeah. I will find it for sure.
So live all my life. From the moment I wake up until I lay my head down, and I'll live in the goodness, something like that.
Why in the choir of St. Cadet?
By the ones I can sing. I
notice. So soon you'll be having an album.
If I have the lyrics, because sometimes, but if I had them, I would just sing and say, you mean you can also do that?
Wow. Incoming director of music in the
You UPDF? Would wonder. They'll be surprised. Yeah.
God bless, and let's meet same time, same place next Sunday.
Thank you so very much.
Desert Island Discs on 91.3 Capital FM.
From the moment that I wake up until I lay my head, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God.
Desert Island Discs on 91.3 Capital FM.